Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. In today's video, I'll be talking about the Commanders being the favorites to land all-pro wide receiver Tyreek Hill and talk about some possible trade packages. Also go over some injury updates as well. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Trying to hit 15K subscribers by the end of this month. Let's go ahead and do it. So if you guys saw, Tyreek Hill was talking to the media after the game this past weekend on Sunday, and he was basically saying, he wants to leave the Dolphins, and that's a lot of people have been discussing. Okay, well, where is he gonna go? And some people have said the Commanders, some other teams. A lot of Commanders fans want him. I personally don't really want Tyreek Hill. I'll talk about that in a second. I think, yes, he's a good player, probably would help out the team. I think there's better options, though, that are younger, that have less off the field issues, and that you don't have to pay as much. So for me, it's a no on Tyreek Hill. But like, I wouldn't be absolutely, totally against it. But if it happens, but again, not super high on it. There's this trade right here. I mean, it's FanDuel, so gotta take it with a grain of salt. But this is just on Twitter. And Tyreek Hill to the Commanders for a second-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and Luke McCaffrey. Very random. I guess the Dolphins would be getting a younger wide receiver in there, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to give up all of that for a receiver that, he's getting up there in age. I'll go ahead and look at the numbers right now. I mean, this past year wasn't great for him. He played in all 17 games, had 960 yards. Still good. Still, a good receiver. And the year before, 1,800 yards. Year before, 1,700. Year before, 12 or 1,300. Year before, 860. Like, missed some games. He's a very good receiver in this league. One of the better receivers over the last 6-7 years. But this year was a down year for him. And again, he is getting up there in age. Let me look it up. But, I believe he's 31 years old. So 31 years old doesn't seem like, or he's 30 years old, about to turn 31. Doesn't seem like he's a huge football guy. Like, the love of the game is there. He even said it, like he might retire. Like, this is a year or two ago. He was like, I might retire early, once the contract's up with the Dolphins or something like that. He said something like that where I was like, all right, I don't know about this guy if I really would want him on my team. And then also the money, he's owed $28 million in 2025. Get fully guaranteed. So if he gets traded, the Dolphins, I don't know how that would work out. If they would pay some of it, it depends on the trade, how much the team's giving up. But again, I'm just $28 million for a guy in Tyreek Hill who, again, had his worst year in a minute this past season with 960 yards. And 960 yards is good, but not $28 million good. Maybe $14-15 million good, not $28 million good. And again, he's 31. He's going to be close to 32 by the end of next year. He's getting up there in age. It's not like he's going to be able to contribute for 4, 5, 6 years, and who knows if he even wants to. So I don't really think the draft capital that you're going to have to give up is the issue. I don't think you have to give up a first round pick at this point. The leverage isn't necessarily there for the Dolphins. Even though I think it's or Greer, whatever his name is. I know the last name's Greer. The Dolphins general manager said that he didn't request a trade, even though he publicly kind of said he wants out. So it is what it is there. That's my take on the situation. I'd rather not trade for Tyreek Hill and maybe go after someone like T. Higgins. And even T. Higgins, I'm not a huge T. Higgins fan just because, he does have a little bit of an injury history and you're going to have to pay him a decent amount. But like, there's some good wide receivers out there in free agency that the Commanders could go after, and even in the draft a little bit as well. That's just the one thing is, though, they are going to have to improve the room. The room is not good right now. They got Terry, who's good, top 10-ish receiver in the league. I don't think there's a debate about that. Maybe you don't think he's top 10, but he's in that range, top 12, top 13. That's why I said top 10-ish. Some people think he's higher than that. But, he's a number one receiver in this league. I think we all know that. But then after that, you got guys you really don't have a number two, even a number three. I don't know if you have one. Like maybe Noah Brown, but I believe he's a free agent. So I think they could draft a guy and maybe bring some of the guys back. Like I wouldn't mind Zacchaeus back or some De'Ami Brown back. Like one of the two, Crowder maybe two. But I think you got to bring in two more receivers this offseason, one in free agency and then one in the draft. I think that is the best way to rehaul the wide receiver room besides Terry McLaurin. And Terry, he's still good, but he's getting up there in age. He's getting up there in age, so it's not like he's going to be in his prime for like the next 7, 8 years. He still probably will be good for the next 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years, but he's still you want to add to this receiver room. And I'm not necessarily saying pay a guy 25, 30 million or draft a guy in the first round, but add a couple pieces and maybe develop some guys as well, and your receiver room can do better. So let me go ahead, I'm going to pull it up here. Don't have it on the screen, or don't have it on the phone. I'm recording on the phone, but I have my computer up right here. But I'm just going to read some things. So good news for the Commanders. I made an injury update video yesterday, but there was no like injury designations, and it's Wednesday. It's the first day they practice. They still don't have the injury designations out. It'll probably happen later today, but not. I'm on vacation right now, so not able to post whenever I want necessarily. So gonna get this out now. But Tyler Biadasz out there for practice, has a wrap. Looks like he has a wrap on his sprained left ankle, but getting in work. So arrows trending up. That's what Dan Quinn said. And Marshawn Lattimore stretching with the team, and Dan Quinn has reiterated consistently the arrow is trending up there. I think Lattimore has a very good chance of playing. I would put it at like 75%, 80% chance of playing. And then, sorry, I'm just going through this and trying to make sure that I get all this information. So yeah, I think Marshawn Lattimore has a very good shot of playing. Probably, like I said, 75, 80% chance, and that would be huge going up against Mike Evans, who is a good receiver. But guess what? Lattimore is a Mike Evans eraser. He'll be able to do fine against him. So DQ says Lattimore has hit all the markers leading up to Sunday's game, and Quinn sounds fairly optimistic about Lattimore playing Sunday. So again, that's good news. And it's not a huge difference, but the game is Sunday night, so gives you a little bit more time, especially if some other injuries, small injuries like smaller injuries like ankle stuff or sickness, like that extra time could help. And I did talk about Tyler Owens in my video yesterday, and I mentioned, oh, maybe he could play this week. I totally forgot that, or I don't even know if I saw it, but he got placed on IR before the game on last Sunday. So that was my bad, but it sucks. He's out for the year most likely. But he had a good rookie year, I think, for a guy who was undrafted, a good guy on special teams. We'll see what he continues to do next year, and if he becomes a contributor. Ertz, Clelin Ferrell, Fowler, and Terry McLaurin all getting vet rest days today, so you'll see them as DMPs on the practice report if you check on Twitter or someone else posts a video about it. But they're good to go. They should be 100% good for this game. And yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Good news on Lattimore, good news on Biadasz, and then good news on some of the other guys as well. Cornelius Lucas was out there, so again, great news there. And I just want to talk about the Tyreek Hill thing briefly. I know people are going to be like, oh, it's the playoffs, shouldn't be talking about that, but we still got a few more days to the playoffs, and the off season will come at some point, hopefully in a few weeks and not in a week from now. But I'm really excited for this playoff game. I think the Commanders should win this game. My score predictions around 30-27. It is at Tampa though, but yeah, I think it'll be a good game, and hopefully the Commanders get their first playoff win since 2005, which was at Tampa Bay. So hey, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoy it, and peace.